Kep1er failed. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing the rise and fall of Kep1er and how their company failed them. So let's just get right into it. Kep1er is a 9-member girl group that debuted through the survival show Girls Planet 999. Now, if you're wondering what that is, it's basically Produce 101 but with the space theme slapped onto it, but we're not going to get into that. That's a discussion for another day due to the rigging scandal. Now, they debuted with the song Wadada in 2022, and it was a moderately big hit. However, the song had mixed reactions by netizens, as some found it to be really interesting and others found it to be like noise music. Now, in my opinion, I actually kind of liked it at first, but I overplayed the song so much that I'm just not a big fan of it anymore. However, I will say something about Kep1er is that their B-sides are a lot better than their title tracks. So their first comeback was Up. Now, personally, this is my favorite title track by Kep1er, and it gives off the Twice cute era, and it did a pretty good job at giving off a summer vibe. Now, many other K-pop fans will agree with me that Up is one of their better title tracks after what Kep1er would be releasing. But after Up, Kep1er would start to fall in the chart rankings and wouldn't really be making much noise. Now, Kep1er are considered the follow-up to ISO1, who was the follow-up to IOI. And comparing their chart rankings to them and to their male counterparts Zerobaseone, you can tell how Wake1 has differed in managing them, causing Kep1er to be the guinea pigs while ZB1 goes on to be more numerically successful. But we're gonna get into that soon. Now, Wake1 started to fail in management due to adding the girls into Queendom only months into their debut. And they had a maximum of 6 songs, and they were thrown in there for no specific reason. There was no guarantee that they would succeed in becoming popular, and there was no guarantee that they were going to become viral like the girls from the previous season of Queendom. Now, if Wake1 had wanted them to become popular and more successful, they could have used this time to promote songs and work on gaining a fandom by other means, such as lives and interactions with fans. And if that would have happened, Kep1er would have had a bigger fandom. Now, we're going to go into the concept and sound failure. Wadada, Up, and We Fresh, which was kind of like their first 3 main comebacks and debut, obviously, were completely different concepts. Wadada cemented the cosmic space concept, while Up gave them more of the cute girl concept, and Refresh just made no sense. Like, in my opinion, Refresh sounded like what NMIX was trying to do with the mixed song concept. It kind of sounds biased because I just don't like the song, but that's just how I feel. Refresh showed that Wake1's lack of commitment to the concept and sound. Wake1 had no idea what they were doing. It showed that there was no direction that Kep1er was going to go. And if we compare Giddy and their newer releases, it fits into the cuter concept. But this attempt into fitting into this sound and this concept is too late, as Kep1er's haven't had a comeback in like 5 to 6 months, and they're set to disband in like 3 to 4 months. And it just doesn't make sense. If Wake1 really wanted to work on a song and work on a concept for them, they could have done it. If we look at their Japanese releases, it's kind of the same thing. Their Japanese debut sounded more like We Fresh. It was Wing Wing. And then I Do You sounded more of a cutesy vibe, and it gave more of a Up era. And it just doesn't make sense why Wake1 couldn't be consistent in sound in both albums, in Japanese albums and in Korean albums. Now, we're going to get into the comparison of Kep1er and Zerobaseone because this is a big thing I've been seeing for the past months. Now, I think we can all agree that Boys Planet was more successful than Girls Planet because Girls Planet was the follow-up to the rigging scandal, while Boys Planet had more time distance from the scandal And it just didn't really remind people of what was going on. Like, people did not know nor did care about the scandal after a while. Now, Kep1er's final lineup had more hate due to one member. Now, that one member was Hyunkai's sister, Bahi. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm so sorry. But there was a whole, like, movement towards her that she shouldn't have debuted, that it's nepotism, this, and that. Like, I saw more, like, controversy with Kep1er's final lineup than I did with Zerobaseone. Now, ZB1 didn't have these rigging, nepotism allegations because of one specific moment that happened in the final episode when Zhang Hao won first place. A Chinese member was the center, basically, which, according to many people, Mnet would never do. Now, I don't know if I'm biased because I didn't really watch Girls Planet. I watched Boys Planet consistently. I watched it every single week. Like, I was on that show. Like, I was voting. I was a part of everything. So I think I'm more known to what Boys Planet is, and I have more knowledge of it than I do with Girls Planet. So you can correct me if I'm wrong in any other things. You can see that Girls Planet had a weird consistency in how the show was even produced in the first place. Like, they had these, like, cells, I think, where they would put, like, a Chinese member, Japanese member, and then a Korean member, and then they would, like, eliminate a whole entire group together. Like, it was weird. But it felt to me that Girls Planet was more of a, like, guinea pig show, unlike Boys Planet, which is, again, something that's consistent between Zerobaseone and Kep1er. Kep1er is more of the guinea pig, while Zerobaseone is the final product, basically. A lot of times, I see people discuss how Wake 1 manages them differently. It's not fair. Zerobaseone gets more treatment, but, like, special treatment. But in my opinion, and something that I've noticed and I put research into, is that they have different managements. Both groups are managed completely differently, and they're not promoted the same, which is why an example I say all the time is the birthdays, cakes, and the birthday lies and the photo shoots. They're completely different managements. They're not the same. They're not under the same team, I think. I think it's under, like, sub-labels. Now, this is another reason that, like, with the management and the promotion, is that Zerobaseone has a sound. And something that I've noticed about ZB1 is that they're very cohesive with the concept. The members each fit into the concept they have. While Kep1er has members that are better suited for cute concepts and other members that are better for girl crush. Now, I'm not going to say this is their fault, because it's not the girls' fault. And in Girls Planet, we got to see that the members could pull off very good, different concepts, and they're very versatile. Something that's really big that I feel like people need to understand when it comes to Kep1er and Zerobaseone is that the popularity of boy groups and girl groups has been something that hasn't changed for many generations. Now, in 4th gen, going on to this 5th gen era, we went through a boy group drought where girl groups were more mainstream, but as of recently, there's been too many girl groups to choose from, causing Kep1er to drown in the oversaturated sea of girl groups. While boy groups consistently have been more popular with the general demographic than girl groups, and we could see this in the East and in the West. An example from the West would be One Direction was way more popular than Fifth Harmony and Little Mix. And this has to do with the psychology of the ideal group marketed towards teens. Now, boy groups are psychologically marketed to fill the idea of the perfect boyfriend. I mean, just look at Wattpad. And because of this, boy groups have more fangirls who are loyal, who are committed, while fanboys, which is like mainly the demographic for girl groups, they're not really loyal. They don't really commit to a thing. They could move from group, especially if a girl is dating. I mean, we saw this with Karina. It was such a weird thing. The psychology of this marketing, it works more in the advantage of boy groups. Now, based off of these facts, we see that Kep1er failed due to how Wake 1 didn't know how to manage them. And with the rise of Zerobaseone, we can see clearly that Wake 1 could have managed them a lot better and could have had concepts for them that was a lot better. And with their contracts ending soon, it's sad to see that Kep1er could have had a chance to be great. Now, I really do hope that wherever the members go, they will get better treatment, better concepts, better style. And we can only wish what's best for the members now with their remaining months. So thank you everyone for watching. Comment down below what you think Week 1 should have done for Kep1er, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!